Hey guys, today I'm going to explain you on glucose alanine cycle. In glucose alanine cycle, so basically the amino nitrogen, how exactly it is transported to the liver and what happens to the carbon skeleton in the liver and also in the peripheral tissue. That part we will be concentrating on today. Okay, so whenever the proteolysis occurs, so let me explain you when exactly the proteolysis occurs. So proteolysis, that is the breakdown of protein present in the skeletal muscle and other tissues, will occur as a part of normal cell turnover, or it can be because of the stress where the cortisol is increased and that will break down the skeletal muscle protein and other proteins also, or it can be because of fasting and starvation under the influence of like less insulin, more glucagon. So when the blood glucose goes down, so gluconeogenesis process will has to be increased, and for that substrate is amino acids, but especially the alanine. Let's see what happens during this normal cell turnover and stressful situation, or maybe in fasting and starvation. What exactly happens to the skeletal muscle protein? So skeletal muscle protein undergoing lysis, that is proteolysis. So you get amino acids, amino acid. Now we'll have to take care of the amino acid nitrogen. That's what we are interested in. Amino acid nitrogen, that is NH3 plus. We want to know what happens to the NH3 plus. So this is in the skeletal muscle. I'll take example of skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle. Why I am taking skeletal muscle as an example? Because majority of our body protein is there in the skeletal muscle. So you have proteolysis, amino acids coming in. So amino acids will undergo transamination reaction initially. As you all might be knowing, in the transamination reaction, it is a reversible reaction where the denominator is alpha ketoglutarate, which is converted to glutamate after transamination reaction, and the amino acid amino nitrogen given to alpha ketoglutarate, that's when it is converted to glutamate. It means your amino nitrogen is there in glutamate. Now the amino acid carbon skeleton will be alpha keto acid. What happens to the alpha keto acid in the skeletal muscle? Alpha keto acid can undergo energy metabolism to give energy to the tissue. That's the fate of alpha keto acid. Now we have taken care of carbon part of amino acid, that is becoming alpha keto acid, and it gets into energy metabolism. Now let's see what happened to the amino group that was present in the amino acid. After transamination, it is now in the present. It is forming glutamate. Now this glutamate will undergo one more transamination reaction, catalyzed by alanine transaminase, that is ALT reaction, alanine transaminase. What it does? It is going to participate, means give its amino group to pyruvate. As you all know, pyruvate you get from glycolysis, as the end product of glycolysis is pyruvate here. Now amino group is given to pyruvate, that's when pyruvate is converted to alanine. Pyruvate is a keto acid, it accepts amino group and then converted to alanine, and now your amino group is there here in alanine. All this is going on in the skeletal muscle. Okay, now I'll draw the skeletal muscle. This is the skeletal muscle. Okay, now alanine is secreted. Alanine is secreted from the skeletal muscle into the blood. So alanine goes out into the blood, gets into the blood, and from the blood it is taken up by liver. So liver here. So now your alanine is getting into the liver. Alanine is here. Alanine is in the liver. Now your amino nitrogen is there in alanine. We are interested in that. Amino nitrogen is there in the alanine. Now it got into the liver. This is the liver. What happens to the alanine in the liver? Alanine will undergo transamination reaction again. That is catalyzed by ALT, same enzyme but in the liver, alanine transaminase. So alanine is converted to pyruvate, whereas alpha ketoglutarate in the liver accepts this amino group and it is converted to glutamate. alpha ketoglutarate is converted to glutamate. Now your amino group is in glutamate. That's in the liver. So what we have seen now is alanine, which is coming out of skeletal muscle under starvation, stressful situation, fasting condition, or normal protein turnover. So now it is taken up by the liver. Liver is going to conduct transamination reaction where alpha ketoglutarate is accepting amino group and becoming glutamate, and alanine is converted to pyruvate. Now let's see what happens to the pyruvate, and then I'll come to what happens to the glutamate. Okay, so pyruvate, if the person is in fasting condition or starvation, or if the person is in stressful situation, so the pyruvate will be converted to glucose by gluconeogenesis. As you all know, gluconeogenesis is stimulated when the person is in starvation, stressful situation, under the influence of glucagon and cortisol. So the glucose that is made here, it will be released into the blood. Glucose comes into the blood. As the alanine is there in the blood, alanine is taken from the blood. Now the glucose, alanine carbon part is converted to glucose, and that gets into the blood. Okay. Now that glucose will be taken up by the peripheral tissues, not majorly by the skeletal muscle under fasting condition. It will be generally taken up by the neurons and red blood cells. Some of the glucose can be taken up by skeletal muscle, but not predominantly. Anyway, to complete the cycle, so glucose, which is there in the blood, taken up by the skeletal muscle, and glucose is here, and that will undergo glycolysis, and on glycolysis you get pyruvate, and pyruvate can undergo transamination reaction, bring one more alanine. Okay, so this completes the cycle here. This particular cycle we call it as glucose alanine cycle. Glucose alanine cycle. As you can see, alanine is moving out of skeletal muscle, going to the liver. In the liver, alanine is converted to pyruvate. Pyruvate is converted to glucose. Glucose comes out into the blood, taken up by skeletal muscle, undergoing glycolysis, forming pyruvate. Pyruvate gets into one more alanine transamination reaction, brings alanine, and that's the cycle here. Glucose alanine cycle. Anyway, let's move on to see what happens to the amino nitrogen. That's what we wanted to know, what happened to the amino nitrogen. So all the way from skeletal muscle we brought this amino nitrogen. Here is the amino nitrogen. It was there in the amino acid. Then we have conducted transamination reaction. So now your amino nitrogen was there, it is there in the glutamate. Now we have conducted alanine transamination reaction. Now your amino group is there in the alanine. Alanine getting into the blood. Now amino group is there in alanine present in the liver. Now that we have conducted transamination reaction in the liver, so your amino group is there in the glutamate. Now let's see what happens to that. So glutamate has got two fates now. Glutamate can undergo glutamate dehydrogenase reaction, GDH, that is glutamate dehydrogenase enzyme catalyzed reaction. It means glutamate is broken down into alpha ketoglutarate and releases ammonium ion, NH4+. And this ammonium ion will get into urea cycle, urea formation, and urea is secreted into the blood. Urea is getting into the blood, and from there it is taken up by kidney, blood urea, then the kidney filters that into urine, urea. Ultimately, whatever the urea that is synthesized will be excreted by the kidney. Okay, so that's one fate of glutamate. So basically what we have done, we have excreted basically the amino nitrogen in the form of ammonium ion, which is getting converted to urea. Urea is secreted by the liver, filtered by the kidney, and appears in the urine. Okay, now another fate of glutamate is glutamate undergoes AST catalyzed reaction, that is AST, aspartate transaminase. AST is aspartate transaminase. So glutamate is converted to alpha ketoglutarate, oxaloacetate, OAA, oxaloacetate, which is a TCA cycle intermediate. Oxaloacetate is converted to aspartate, amino acid aspartate. It means you have transferred amino nitrogen from glutamate to aspartate. Now your nitrogen is there in the aspartate, and this aspartate, it gets into urea cycle. Basically the nitrogen is given to urea formation. So that's how your nitrogen ends up in the urea. Ultimately your amino acid nitrogen coming from the peripheral tissues will be getting into glutamate, glutamate to alanine, alanine to alanine in the liver, from the skeletal muscle to the liver, alanine to glutamate again, glutamate undergoing glutamate dehydrogenase reaction, ammonium ion, or glutamate undergoing AST catalyzed reaction, aspartate, and that's this amino nitrogen, and that will be given to urea. So ultimately it ends up in urea. So urea is NH2CO NH2. It has got two nitrogens. One nitrogen is coming directly from ammonium ion, another nitrogen is coming in the form of aspartate. That's how you make urea in the liver. Once the liver synthesizes urea, urea is basically secreted into the blood, and kidney takes that and it is going to filter that into the urine. That completes glucose alanine cycle. Thanks for watching.